I'm Sean Chamberlain, and my thesis is on extreme sport athletes' perceptions about sports psychology and the use of mental skills. Growing up, I was always around extreme sports, and I knew that growing up I wanted to do something with sports psychology. I've been always interested in why people do things, why I couldn't do things, like especially when I was like BMXing or snowboarding. There's always that point where I couldn't push myself. So I've always just kind of been interested in how athletes can do that, how they can have that mental edge. And there's a lot of research out there on traditional sports, but there's barely any to none on extreme sport athletes. Extreme sport is a sport that has a high inherent danger, so they tend to put themselves in danger, and they don't have a lot of rules, and it's a lot of just one-on-one, no teams. My studies on amateur freestyle motocross riders. I'm just interviewing them to understand their perceptions, see what they know about sports psychology, and then if they use mental skills. It's a qualitative research, which is really big in sports psychology, unveiling people and understanding them just by asking them questions. Research that's been done on perceptions of sports psychology or consultants is very negative. A lot of people, they'll look at us as clinical psychologists, eating disorder, things like that. We're completely opposite. We're there to help sport, we're help peak performance, and help your mental edge. And a lot of people don't seek out help until there's already trouble. A lot of coaches do use it, and a lot of athletes do use it. They're just not aware that they're using it, which is a really big thing we're trying to push. You guys are using it. It's very important that you use sports psychology because of how it can help you in your sport, in life, and everything you do. You want to keep it here. You don't want to go over it because then your performance is going to go down. A lot of athletes have that mental block. They can't get past things, or they're not really clear about what they want to do. So a lot of consultants or sports psychology, they'll start off with goal setting. Like what's your huge goal you want to do? Now how are you going to achieve that goal? A lot of people get really anxious when the crowd's there and they can't deal with it. They get really nervous and their performance is bad because the crowd's yelling at them or a coach is yelling at them. We teach them to calm down, to breathe, to relax. We teach them visualization. In any sport, it's mental. Anything you do is mental. Are you confident with yourself? Can you do things? When you're completely in the moment, that's what they call flow. It's being fully focused, is having goal setting. It's being autotelic. Everything feels right. You're immersed into what you're doing because you are so prepared and your challenge and skill balance is met. So whatever you're doing, your skill meets it. And you kind of get in this groove where you notice everything that's going on. Everything might slow down a little bit. And you don't worry about all that extra stuff. That you're mentally and physically prepared to do what you're doing. It's a semi-structured interview, which is only about 12 questions long. I'll read a definition about sports psychology so that they're clear, and then I'll just ask them, have you ever heard of sports psychology? What do you know about it? How'd you hear about it? Do you use mental skills before? And someone will be like, oh yeah, totally, man, I use mental skills. Or someone will be like, no, I don't. And from there, what I try to do is probe them by trying to build it out of them. Take me step by step. What do you do before you get on your bike? Well, I check my bike. I'm going through my trick list. I'm visualizing the course. And all through they're doing this, they're actually talking about sports psychology and using mental skills. They're just not aware of it. A lot of people are picking up a skateboard before they're picking up a bat. There's research that shows there's decrease of the traditional sports because everyone's moving over to the venue of extreme sports. There's this huge boom. We need to start looking over there and helping with these athletes as well. These athletes are part of high-risk sports and that's part of the culture, but we need to help with their performance and we need to keep them safe as well because that is the new generation, Generation Y. That's who's going to be taking over sports. So we need to work with that population.